Hey, everybody. Mike Donahue here with Brian May.
Hey, everybody.
We are coming to you with the response from our very controversial podcast, Selling a Shitty Jesus. It's been an interesting couple days, Brian.
Yes, it has been. No doubt we were able to peer into the future and see that some folks would take umbrage at that title. It's interesting. I had a couple of comments. One came from a friend of mine. He's actually that goes to a different church, and he sort of cautioned, said, "Caution, be careful, about how you talk about the church and da 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 da." I was able to explain to him really what we were talking about. We weren't really talking about all churches, and we certainly weren't disparaging Jesus. I mean, quite the opposite, I think, in that. And had a reasonable, and open, conversation. And it was like, yeah, okay, I get it. I see what you guys are saying.
I liked what you said to him. I liked your response to him. It was really good.
Yeah, I just think we need to open our eyes and begin to see, what's going on out there. And I mean, to be clear, we've said this a lot. There's no church that's 100% good. There's no church that's 100% evil. What we're really commenting on is some of the trends and the things that we're seeing, especially in the media. I had another person comment, and they were very offended at the title, and there's no way they even listened to what we said. And, I'm sorry for that. And I'm sorry for anybody out there who was offended by that. That wasn't really our intention. I know I spoke at one point and I said, well, if you're offended, get over it. I mean, that really is not my heart. I mean, if you're offended by it, I apologize. But, I encourage people to try to get past that and give it a listen.
The way I look at it is, we put up a stumbling block, right? We put up it was a stumbling block for some people. It was like, we're gonna call this title Shitty Jesus. I personally think it was probably one of the best podcasts we've done to explain what we mean by the abuse of the church and how it's affected the world, right? Because that's what that guy really, he was done with the church. He was done with Christianity in his mind. And he said, it's like they're selling a shitty Jesus. So I've got this piece of paper right here. And let's say this was a picture of my wife and I tore it. And I tore the picture of my wife. Is that disrespectful to my wife? That's subjective, right? But if my wife is standing here and I slap my wife in the face, first of all, I wouldn't, because she would hit me back and she would hit me back and it would be harder. But that would be disrespectful to my wife, right? Yeah, so we're not talking about the authentic Jesus. We're not saying that he's shitty. We're saying that what's being presented out in the world is, from one person's perspective, a shitty Jesus. And I get the good emails. Brian gets the bad one. I got this a text from a friend of ours. Brian knows him too. I'm not gonna lie, the title of yesterday's podcast caught my attention, but you guys nailed it. I've been worn out from playing church for 30 years. The real Jesus, who cares about the real me and not the what I say or do me, is who I've longed for all my life and I'm in pursuit of. Thanks to you and Brian for taking the bold step and making it real. Today's church is a joke. Keep pressing on. And Dave Reaver is one of my all-time favorites as well. I did get a negative comment too from somebody last night. They actually didn't do it on our YouTube page, but they on their own page they made a very disparaging comment about me as a person, saying I shouldn't be allowed in ministry. I do know this person. I think I was in her life for a year. She was in a master's commission. Not that I ran. I was the youth pastor when she was there. Hardly remember her. But I've said this and I'll say it again. If I hurt you in any way, I would really like you just to get a hold of me and let's talk about it. And if it's a legitimate concern that, something that I did, because I'm not a human, I'm a human being. I'm not a perfect person. I will admit it, and I will look at you in the face, and I've done that, and I will do it again. I'll keep doing it. But, going online and saying things about me and some of the things that aren't true, that's just blow the belt. And, we're not doing that here. We're telling the truth, and we're giving people the opportunity to come on here and defend themselves and set the record straight if the record isn't straight. So yeah, that's all we ask. So
Yeah, we're wide open and really do appreciate the comments too. And I think it's good. We live in a world where it seems like a lot of folks are getting their value about, we're the right ones, right? We've got it right and all the rest of y'all got it wrong. And they're getting a lot of value there. And the reality of it is none of us have it 100% right. And what I fear, especially in church circles and especially around areas of doctrine, that we've created this culture that's not unlike the political world. And we've kind of walled ourselves in so that we can validate ourselves and feel like, we're on the inside, we're on the right side. And that makes us unable to listen to other people. And I think that when you can't listen to other people anymore, then you're in a pretty scary place. When you live in an echo chamber, I think that's bad for people in general in any sort of circle, but especially in circles of faith where people are really pursuing Jesus.
and really, if you are confident in your position, you can listen to other people's position
Yeah.
because you're confident in yours. And maybe while you're listening, maybe it adds to yours. Like maybe it's not going to completely change
Yeah.
yours, but maybe, hey man, I didn't think of that,
Yeah.
and let me add that to my, to the plate and see
Yeah.
where I come up with. It's never a bad thing to listen to somebody, even if they're dead wrong. It's sometimes people just need to be heard, and that there's a virtue in that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And neither Mike nor I, as we said before, we aren't theologians. We don't play one on TV. We're not out here really telling you what to believe, but what we're really trying to do is have conversations amongst ourselves about how we see things, so that hopefully you can think about those things. That the email that you just read from the guy, that was very encouraging to me because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who feel similar to us about some of the way things are handled in church, or just some of the whole culture that seems to be emerging in the church, or at least some churches nowadays. And um, maybe they don't have the language for it. And if we're open to these kinds of conversations, and if you get past the title of this podcast and actually listen to what we have to say, you might find some language for what you feel inside. You've never been, found a way to express that. And I think that can help people, and that's really what we're trying to do here. We're really trying to help folks in that respect.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a good week, and we're still hearing from people. And again, just because we put this on Thursday night doesn't mean that you can't still comment, and we'll try
Yeah,
to get to your comments and
yeah.
respond accordingly. But next week we have a special guest, Brian. Should we talk about her now, or should we
Oh,
leave
I
it a
think
surprise?
maybe we should make it a surprise. Sure, we could talk about it now.
So Eileen Delahante Fires. She married Rich Fires, friend of mine, and but she started out as Eileen Delahante and was a student and teacher at BCA in Bellevue. Worked under Jeannie, and then was hired by Jeannie. I think, as far as I know, she's one of the only ones that went from Bellevue to Rockford, as well as myself, as far as an employee
Yeah,
of the church and school. So yeah. Anyways, she's got her story to tell, and she's gonna come on Sunday night. So we'll see
yeah.
you then.
We will see you all Sunday. Be there or be square.
Be square. All right, guys. We'll see you Sunday.
See
Bye.
y'all. Bye.